very first memories was actually coming to view the house that we moved into, Bailey Rise. And I can remember my dad lifting us up onto his shoulder so we could see through the sitting room window, because the garden fell away from the back of the house, which is where the sitting room window was. And my mum saying, and it's got a bath. So it was quite a change to move in. April the 19th, 1952. I did find two original 1953, 1954 rent books. And you actually paid a higher charge for the boiler to boil your clothes and the cooker, an electric cooker. You see, the town centre, where the Methodist church is now, in the leisure centre, the field behind that, we used to call that the Newties. There was two ponds there. One used to practically dry up in the summer, but the other one always had water in. The cows used to drink out of it, because there was always beef cattle in there. And we used to, there used to be the great crested newts used to be in there as well. So of course you used to go down and there was frogs and newts and there was little sticklebacks in that. And you used to get the newts, you know, in your little jam jar or a fish tank, and keep them for a few days, then you'd swap them for someone, half a dozen marbles or whatever. And that's what you did, you know. But the big great crested newts, they were prized them. You used to call them kings and queens, you know, bright sort of orangey red belly, black spots on, you know, about a year long. Look like little lizards, you know. Oh, the mile pipe. I'm not sure whether it was, I think it was sewage. And it was probably 36-inch diameter, something like that. It seemed quite big at the time when you're little and you walk along it. But of course, it has a fall on it, so that in parts of the Dean you're about 20, 30 foot above the Dean floor. And then as the trees grew, the trees would grow like over the top of it, so you'd have to work your way on the pipe but through the branches of the trees. And of course, it was a dare to walk, just walk it rather than sort of hands and knees job, you know. People that were moving into Peterlee tended to, most of them from the colliery villages, where there was a sense of community, so that everybody in the early days did pull together with various organisations. You know, Tocky Hitch and Scottish country dancing and stuff like that. And then they built a gymnasium, again in the walled garden at the back. That was quite the early days, that, again. And that's where the Boys Brigade met when it first started. The first Peterlee company was run by a guy called Hill, John Hill Senior. We had different things like judo and gymnastics. We had a gymnastics teacher who used to come up, and so he used to do keep fit and stuff like that. Because again, where the community centre was for the community, there was also organisations in the pub, which the only one was the Royal Arms. Mm-hmm. So that's where the British Legion idea started from. They had a league club, they had a weekly draw, numbers drawn on a Sunday, darts and dominoes and stuff like that, you know. And of course, when Peterlee first kicked off, you had the store motors round. So you had the butcher, you had the haberdashery, like the pots and pans and stuff like that, hardware round. And then you had deliveries sometimes. What was the other one? You had the butcher. They didn't do the fish. So and then you had, what do they call them? Tailors the bakers from Shotton. They used to come round in a little Morris 1000 van with the trays in, with the cakes and the pies and the bread and everything on. They used to be round 2 or 3 times a week. Store motor was always once a week. And then you had the guys that sharpened the knives and the scissors, walking with the barrel, and then you turned it over and then away with the stone and sharpened everything. You had the French onion sellers on the bikes with the striped jerseys and the beret and the onions hanging off the handlebars and everything.